Yep, we're doing another tier list. A few things I want to say before we get started. If you want to just get to the tier list, I'll give you the timestamp. One, I've been sick the past week or so sorry if my voice sounds a little bit off. Two, I do want to try and get back into YouTube and making content again. If I were to explain my reasoning, we'd be here all day. So I might just make a video explaining why. And last, I do plan to record Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 and maybe Chapter 4. I played Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 like over a year ago. It was really good, and I was just upset I didn't record it because my experience was actually super fun. And now, since I barely remember what happened in the chapter, now's a better time than ever. Oh, and Chapter 4 came out recently. So yeah, look forward to Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, and let's get into the video. Welcome to a different kind of video. Today, I will be talking about this new tier list I made. The last time I made a tier list like this for Garden Warfare 2 characters was back in 2022, when I thought Facecam was a good idea. It wasn't, I'm just gonna be honest about that. Since then, my opinions have changed over time. I've been playing the game for over 9 years now. This game's almost 10 years old. That is insane. And I've gotten 2 max ranks in the process, because I just have all the free time in the world. I think I'm pretty familiar with a lot of these characters, and to even prove that, I have not put any characters in a not ranked tier. No character is not ranked. Every character is ranked because I feel like I have a general idea of how every character works, though I do still have to remind you that this is just my opinion. If you don't agree with my opinion, if you think, Cosmic Brains is the best character in the game, then, I don't know, talk to the wall. So this is just my opinion. Don't harass me for it. This is just what I think. And, I mean, yeah, no more dilly-dallying. Let's get into this. So, the top tier. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? I mean, you got your Iron Citron, you got your EP, you've got Toxic Brain, Super Commando, you've got the basic stuff. Agent P, I think we all know, like, he's extremely good. Like, crit shots, you're hitting over 30. Normal damage, you're hitting like 14 or so. Is extremely fast fire rate. If you have accuracy, Agent P's broken. I think Plasma P is a very interesting character because for a while we all thought he was good, but he wasn't like the best. As time went on, I think Plasma P is a much better character than we all saw him as. I mean, for starters, P shooters as a whole are probably the strongest class in the game, and I hate saying that because they're extremely annoying. And that's all because, beam jumping exists. Every P shooter can do it, no matter the situation. A full charge shot can hit over 70. From the farthest distance, the lowest it could do is 66, which is still really disgusting. You can pretty much hit anybody for it. He charges pretty decently fast. Yeah, I mean, he's a really good character. Though the one thing I want to say, for anybody who plays this character and is like in the blue rank plates, get a life, please. Future Cactus is another one that might raise a couple eyebrows. I think, personally, Future Cactus is not only the best cactus in the game, but the best sniping character in the game. A full charge shot can deal over 100 damage, enough to kill a scientist and an imp. Extremely good DPS. Absolutely. I think Future Cactus is easily just the best cactus in the game and the best sniper in the game. Yeah, I mean, even though there are ways to beat Future Cactus, me personally, I think Future Cactus is one of the best characters in the game. I think a lot of people can agree with the zombies in this tier, though I am going to touch on Astronaut. Astronaut is a character that can beat most plants in a fight. I'm not going to lie. Like, because he can heal himself, of course. He can do over 25 damage with every crit he lands, and even then he's still hitting 20s if it's not crit. Yeah, his damage gets better closer. He's the only scientist in the game that doesn't have to get in your face in order to kill you. He can actually kill you from distance, and he can heal himself, which is stupid. He's a disgustingly good character, and I think he deserves to be in the broken tier. Moving on to the S tier, and I'm going to quickly discuss this tier for a little bit. For one, I am also ranking these characters based off of how good they are at max level. That means with every single upgrade available to them. I'm not ranking the characters unranked because, some characters are worse than they actually are. Well, every character is worse than how they actually are. Some characters barely change when you get their upgrades, like they get better and that's just that. And then some characters rely on their upgrades to be good. And the S tier specifically is like the top tier. Basically, I think the S tier is characters that are super good and always worth using 100%, but the SS tier are the best characters in the game, hands down. Party Citron. I feel like in order to explain Party Citron, I'd probably have to explain the rest of the party characters. I mean, personally, I don't think the party characters are that much different to their reg counterparts. I mean, they're all pretty much the same. I'm not buying the whole, oh, they do less damage than their normal counterparts BS, because that's not the case at all. They're just the reg versions, but they have meters, which technically should make them better, but in reality, it doesn't change most of them. Party Corn is better than Reg Corn, but Reg Corn's already broken, so they both go in the same tier. The only party character in my eyes that's actually different is Party Man. He does like a little less damage than Reg Deadbeard, and that's like not even the biggest hindrance ever, because he's still a really good character. Party Citron, why I think he's above Citron, this applies to Party Rose as well. The reason I think Party Citron is above Reg is purely because I think he just utilizes his meter like very well. In reality, he is literally the same as Reg Citron, but because he has a meter that he actually can utilize. What I'm trying to say is Party Citron can utilize the meter very well compared to Reg Citron, who doesn't have one. So I think Party Citron is better than Reg Citron by 1 tier, because his party time is actually more valuable than not having it. Mystic Flower, a really good sunflower and extremely underrated. She can do over like 70, 80 damage, something along that lines. And she still has a decent enough fire rate. Now, for a sunflower, she is pretty powerful. Please, play her. She's super good. Shrimp is going to raise probably a couple questions because he's usually considered the worst imp in the game, or one of, next to Pylon. Me personally though, I think Shrimp is probably the most underrated imp in the entire game, if not one of the most underrated characters in the entire game. Shrimp, I think what makes him good is just his mech. I'll be honest, his mech is nuts. The laser is extremely accurate and it high powered damage. He also has an ability that lets him fly across the map just like SB. There is nowhere you can go where the mech won't be able to find you. The one thing about Shrimp though is the fact that it's just his mech that makes him that good. If the mech was a playable character you could play as all the time, top tier, 100% top tier. But it's not. The mech is an ability that he just so happens to have. On his own, he is pretty much just a worse reg imp. His damage isn't terrible, you know, he can still kill people. On his own, just the standard imp, he's nothing special. With the mech, he is extremely broken. I think Shrimp is an incredible character, just close but not quite there in top tier though. Arctic Trooper is quite interesting, isn't he? Arctic Trooper is, he's the 1v1 cheese, we all know he is. He's a powerful character. The problem is he's only good at 1v1s, and in a game like this, you're not going to get very many of those. He can counterpick pretty much every character in the game, but only in a 1v1 situation. If he was like fighting like 2 or more plants on his own, he cannot win that. To be fair, not many other characters can win that, but like Toxic Brains probably can. I don't think he's top tier. I know a lot of people might think he is. He's not. Sky Trooper, it might just be a biased pick, but his fire rate is extremely good. His DPS, imagine Rex Soldier, but the DPS is 2 times faster. That's Sky Trooper. Solid DPS. He might be this high just because of I really like him. That's what I think. Moving on to the A+ great tier, I would say this is where I think a lot of the more average characters get brought in. If I'm gonna be fully honest with you, Chief, I do not think roses are good. You what? I think like even after they get the homing upgrade, they are so bare, it's like not even funny. I'm sorry, I can't see what makes roses so good. I think roses are just the characters that depend on what map you play on. They are good in turf. I mean, they literally have to build portals, so yeah, they are good in turf. They're great in lunar landing. I think that's it. They rely way too much on low gravity. You can still get really good results with roses. Hell, I think there was one guy who got like 90 kill streak with like Party Rose in Midwave Z. The roses can still do some really good stuff. Me personally, I just don't think they're some of the best characters in the game. Frost and Necros are just easily the best ones. Frost, if you haven't played Frost Rose, get on it. She's actually really good. And in my opinion, she's the only Rose that doesn't rely on her homing upgrade to be good, which is funny. It frees people pretty fast. I mean, one full charge shot like halfway freezes them already. Then you just have to send a couple more shots and then they're frozen, and you just then pile on them afterwards. 50 damage as well with her full charge shot. She's basically the sniper equivalent of a Rose. Necros also, I think, is just pretty self-explanatory, so I won't dive into her. Sunfaro is definitely an underrated gem. She's literally Popcorn, but with sunflower abilities. She's super good and really fun to play. Scallywag Imp being an A+, I mean, the lowest legendary character aside from Disco Chomper. Scallywag's mech is also super good. It's one of the best in the game, probably next to Shrimp in my opinion. 400 health, shotgun, long range shot, the crusty Giga Bomb, I think is what it's called. Basically just a glorified imp punt. He has the imp kata that's like much more lethal. It's a good mech and it has a lot of versatility. It's just, you know, gets bundled on a lot. I can't really explain why Scallywag Imp is A+. It's just, I think if you play him, you kind of understand what I'm talking about. So Rody Z, Chemist, and Zoologist are kind of grouped into the same thing in my eyes. They're all zombies with point blank range. They are good characters. 100% they are good characters. I think my problem with them though is that they're too predictable. With a Chemist, I feel like you know exactly what's gonna happen. The Chemist is gonna warp up to you and he's gonna try and shoot you point blank. And because of that, it's easier to predict a Chemist and what they're gonna do and plan around it. And the same goes for like Zoologists, you know. I still think they're really good because again, they have warp. If you can play them stealthy, they are super good. And I also think it does depend on what map you play on with these characters. These characters, they are good, no doubt. They are really good, but they are pretty predictable, and I think that hinders them a lot. Just be prepared. If a Corn immediately tries to husk hop you when you're playing Chemist, just know it's because they know exactly how you play. Rugby Star is weird character. The one thing I've got to say about him is that he just doesn't have a consistent damage output. You can hit like a 30 with him, right? And the next shot you'll hit 20. Next shot 22. Next shot 14. Next shot 37. Next shot. No matter what, every shot you hit with him is a completely different number, crit or not. And I think that's what makes him fun. He's completely random as to what DPS he's gonna get. Yet he still always has the right enough DPS to kill a pea shooter in a full thing. Give Rugby Star a play. I think he's actually really good, and you'll be surprised by the results you end up getting. Moving into the A tier, or the average tier, this is where we kind of start to get chompers. Obviously, if you know anything about chompers, you know that they are very limited as a class. Let's be honest, if you're playing a chomper and you see a foot soldier on top of a house, what do you think you're gonna do in order to deal with him? You just goop him and let your teammates kill him? Okay, what if none of your teammates are around? Yeah, you're screwed. I think Hot Rod and Twilight are the best chompers in the game. Hot Rod is just extremely fast. Chompers are characters, because they're stealthy, they rely on mobility. Hot Rod is easily the most mobile chomper in the game. I think he's literally the fastest character in the game. Twilight is just really good damage output. It is literally just as fast as Hot Rod. For some reason, I don't know why they thought Twilight needed to be just as fast, but whatever. Because he's just as fast, he's just as mobile. Also, the warp is stupid. Twilight warp travels light years. I don't know why they thought it needed to travel that far, but it does. Extremely broken, good DPS, really fast. Twilight is a good character, hands down. Outside of chompers though, there isn't really much I feel like I have to explain for the average tier, right? I mean, we all know why. So moving on to the decent tier, Fire Chomper and Toxic Chomper, I really want to talk about these characters. Fire Chomper was really good in Garden Warfare 1, right? And then they nerfed him, so he does 8 damage instead. Except, did they? I feel like Fire Chomper is just as good as he was in Garden Warfare 1. If you mash the controller with him, you're doing insane numbers of damage. Fire Chomper's DPS is off the charts if you have a good trigger finger. And the same goes for Toxic Chomper as well. Why is Power Chomper lower than them? Because you can't mash the control stick with them. Fire Chomper, whenever you attack with him, it always does 8 damage upon the first activation. So, whenever you mash the shoot button, he'll do like rapid amounts of damage. Fire Chomper and Toxic Chomper, their DPS is incredible. Power Chomper is so much lower than them because he can't do what they can. I think Toxic Chomper is slightly worse than Fire Chomper, but that's just because I think the Toxic element as a whole sucks. And that's going to tie into Toxic P, because I know Toxic P is extremely low on this list compared to like the other P shooters. Here's what I'm going to say. The Toxic element in this game is by far the worst one. For me, Toxic is an element that seems good on paper, is terrible in execution. 3 rounds of 2 as a max damage, that's 6. Whereas compared to the fire characters with fire upgrade, do 25 damage total because they're doing 5 rounds of 5. Without it, they're doing 5 rounds of 4. That's like 20 damage still. Like Fire P alone needs to land like 4 directs and he can kill a foot soldier. I think what makes most of the toxic characters bad in this game is the fact that they made you heavily rely on the toxic element. Like, these characters were built with the idea that the toxic element was going to carry them. It does not. That's why every single toxic character except for Toxic Brains is in decent tier or lower. I think that because they rely too much on the toxic element, they're not actually that good on their own. The reason why Toxic Brains is so high is because he's like the only toxic character in the game that doesn't rely on it. The reason why he's good is because he uses the meter, right? He has the meter and he punches people to fill it up. Once it's filled up, he's now extremely powerful. None of that has to do with the element of toxic itself. He just happens to have it. That's why he's good, because he doesn't rely on the toxic element. Toxic P does rely on the element, and the same goes for Toxic Chomper, kind of, and Druid Rose, and Sanitation Expert, and Dr. Shot, yada yada. All of them rely on the toxic element far more than they should, and that's why I don't think they're that great. Toxic P, I still think, is the second best toxic character in the game, but like the mid tier is as high as I can put him. Like, it's that bad. Pylon Imp, the worst imp in the game, hands down. I cannot enjoy playing this imp, and why do his shots lob? Why do his shots have, like, a curved angle when you shoot them? Who thought that was a good idea? His mech's also terrible, and that sucks because he actually kind of needs it. The mech is it's the lowest health of any of the mechs. Its abilities aren't very useful. Why did they give it mines? Pylon Imp sucks. Gotta say, a Pylon Imp is terrible. His mech sucks, and that's why I think he's bad, because he needs to rely on the mech in order to be good. His damage output's okay. It's nothing special. He sucks. Cosmic Brains. To this day, I'm still waiting for somebody to, like, really prove to everyone that Cosmic Brains is extremely broken. One of these days, somebody's gonna get, like, a 100 kill game in Lone Bomb with Cosmic Brains, and we're all just gonna be flown out of our seats. Like, what? He's not the worst character in the game. He's just not great. He relies on lag so much to be good. If he could charge a punch in midair, he'd be much better. But he can't. He just straight up can't. I know there's like techs you can do with keeping a charge in midair. Cosmic Brains is a character I think can improve. I'm just waiting for that one day where Cosmic Brains is actually super good. General Supremo, I think, is the worst foot soldier, but that's still like kind of complimenting him. He's good. Like, his damage output is nuts. And people are probably looking at me like, oh, just because he has the mobility of an all-star, he's still really good. No, that's why he sucks. Foot Soldier is not a character that was designed with all-star mechanics. He's meant to be the offensive character that runs around the map and shoots people. He's not the all-star that's meant to defend points and do like, that's how they built him. And he sucks for that reason. But I think his damage output's still pretty good, so he's not a terrible character or anything. C+ tier, or the OK tier. This is what we're moving on to now. These two roses, I think, are by far the worst in the game. You what? Druid Rose is not bad. She is extremely brain dead, but brain dead doesn't mean good. You can play her, and you can not try. Her damage output will still be 6. Maybe Druid Rose is just as good as Reg Rose, but me personally, I think Reg Rose is just better. Like, I don't think the toxic damage saves Druid Rose all that much. I just don't think Druid Rose is that great, especially since, you know, she has to rely on her homing upgrade again. I don't think she's terrible. She's still very usable. I think she's one of the worst. And Fire Rose, my god, I don't know why people use this character. Her full charge shot has terrible tracking. You shoot it, well, it does like over 50 damage or something, right? With fire damage, which is like, okay, cool. Fire damage is probably her only saving grace. If there's stuff in the way of the shot, it won't track. The tracking is horrible on it. Most of the time when I shot it, and I was aiming perfectly, it still wouldn't track, or it wouldn't account for cover. I don't know. Her normal shots aren't great. I'm gonna say this for Fire Rose. The only benefit I think she has is when you do a second charge shot and you fire, if you keep pressing the shoot button, she'll fire a second charge shot, which is useful, but it's not like great or anything. I think she's just hands down the worst rose in the game. Jade Cactus is probably the worst cactus in this game, but it's still pretty usable. I mean, her gimmick isn't like the most useful in the world, but she's still a sniper. She can still hit over like 20 damage or whatever. She's still really good. I don't think her being slow is a big hindrance. I think her having more health is actually better. She's not great, and she's definitely the worst. Dr. Toxic is so low because of lack of ammo. Breakfast Brains is also another character that's like, if he could punch in midair, he'd be like a little bit better. He's fun as hell. I love Breakfast Brains, but he is not good. Moving on to the E tier, I think I might talk about every character in this tier. Might. E-Citron is definitely interesting. A lot of people think he's the worst character in this game. After having played him via 2 max rank accounts, he's actually not terrible. He's just bad. Of course, you can do the whole second charge shot. Like, you charge to second, and then you shoot it, and he's... God, what am I even saying anymore? E-Citron's second charge shot is pretty good. It's probably one of the fastest charge characters in the game. You second charge shot, he's dealing about 40 damage or so up close, so that's like his best offensive. Full charge shot, I wouldn't like count on charging that. From far range, that's like a max of 30. Up close, it's like 70 something, 80 maybe, which is pretty good, but up close, really? One of the big benefits of having charge shots is that you can use them mid-range, and he has to use his up close. Oh, and his single shots are terrible. From far away, 1. Barely anything. From up close, 5 or 6, which is like not worth it at all. He has the slightest bit of potential, and he's a Citron, so he's good at not dying, but that being said, I still think he's a terrible character that has potential, that has like room for improvement. Rock P, easily the worst P shooter in the entire game. I don't know what they thought by making a P shooter slower and with more health. What were they doing? Oh, and his damage is also abysmal. His max damage is like 22, and that's like direct up close. From far away, it's not even that. He is terrible at killing people. He's super slow. His boosted health doesn't help him at all. Like, he's not a character that can utilize the extra armor he has. He sucks. He's the worst P shooter in the game. I can't raise him any higher than C tier. I can't. Wreck Chomper, out of all the Chompers in the game, he just has no special abilities, but he's still solid, so there's that. Disco Chomper, you know, maybe if he didn't have to rely on swallowing people, he might be a better character, but he's still a Chomper, so whatever. Metal Pedal, originally I thought this character was better at dealing with Arctic Trooper. She's not at all. Her fire rate's terrible. Her damage is whatever. Her health is good. Her slowness is not. She's an armored character that just has too many downsides, I think. Even though I like her, she's not good. Captain Squawk is funny. I think he's the worst zombie in the game, but what makes him funny is the fact that he's still really usable. Of course, his only benefit is the fact that he shoots from long range. 46 damage with reload upgrade. If you're playing him purely for sniping, he's actually pretty decent. He has toxic damage, so overtime. If you're playing him as like a Deadbeard, good luck. The flamethrower, you can mash it, but it doesn't really help him all that much. It's the same thing with Captain Cannon. Captain Cannon's shotgun is terrible. He doesn't really need it, considering his long range shot is manual detonation. Captain Squawk, he doesn't have such luxuries. Yeah, he's not good. He's not good at all. And it pains me because after playing him for a bit, I think he's actually really fun. Moving on to the not great tier. They got 3 characters left. I'm gonna talk about all of them. Armor Chomper is horrible. He's the slowest character in the game, and as a Chomper, that is a major downfall. The only reason why he's not terrible is because he is still a Chomper. He can still burrow. He can still goop. He can still kill people. And his bite force is like 50 something damage with 1 bite. He has slow biting speed, but like 50 damage. Wow. And also, he has 215 health. Far much more health than a Chomper should have. It's his speed. As a Chomper with horrible speed like that, there's only so much this character can do before he just gets trampled on. Chomp Thing is also another character that, like, Chomp Thing's probably the only character in the entire game that I just question the existence of. Why did they make Chomp Thing? He's ugly as hell. His damage output is terrible. Like, his ability makes no sense. Why did they make this character? Those who have been a part of my channel for the longest time know I have a strong hate for Chomp Thing, but I'm gonna be honest, him being this low may seem a little bit biased, but I personally believe he is one of the worst characters in the entire game. His damage output, just imagine fire chompers, but less damage and without fire. That's Chomp Thing's damage output. It's not good. Sure, you can mash with him, I think. It's not gonna save you. His gimmick would be better if he had the same amount of health as a normal Chomper. I'm not kidding. His health is 135, which is like only 10 more health than Hot Rod. And his gimmick is that he regenerates health faster, which is not useful at all. Fire damage and toxic damage actually destroy this character because there is never a split moment he can get his health back. He's just a worthless character. I know design doesn't have to do with it either, but he's ugly as hell. And anybody who tries to defend this character in my comments is actually banned. I don't know why they added this character in Legends of the Lawn in GW1. I don't understand. Like, why did they do that? I just don't like Chomp Thing. That's just my own personal grudge. But he's not the worst character in this game. No, the worst character in this game, I believe, is Toxic Citron. I already made a video on why, but I'll kind of reiterate my points. He has slow fire rate. Its damage from range is awful. His damage up close is still terrible. He has the mist, the toxic mist. It's not great. I think it only does toxic damage to people who stay in it, which, you know, unless you actively hit them with your shots, you're not dealing overtime toxic damage unless they're staying in the mist. Damage from range is awful. He's good at not dying, and that's genuinely the only thing he's good at not doing. Yet I still think he's playable. You can still play Toxic Citron and do pretty decent with him. And plus, he still has the shield. He still has the Impeach. There's a lot that in terms of z-mechs, he cannot fight them at all. In most cases, he will just lose to a super range unless you outsmart them. He's not good. He's not good at all. You want to know why? I made a video on it. Go watch it. I know I didn't explain every character very well, and that's just because I'm bad at discussion videos like this. What I kind of want to do instead is I kind of want to just make a video on each and every single character in this game and kind of explain my thoughts thoroughly, kind of show why these characters are in each tier, because I think every character in this game deserves some form of spotlight. I think I'm going to try and make a video on every single character in this game. I'm going to see if I can prove why they're in the tiers they are, or why they're still good characters that are worth using. Hopefully that'll make up for the terrible explanations I made for this tier list. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Earthlink, I believe her name is. I have to actually search this up. This is not good. I want to give a shout out to Earthlink. She is an amazing friend of mine who has been doing my thumbnails for a while now. And I just want to give her a shout out because the work she's been doing is absolutely amazing. She made the thumbnail for this video. She made the thumbnail for my past couple of videos. And I'm not talented enough to make thumbnails like that, or at least not right now. So big credits to her. I appreciate all the work she's done. And she has a channel called xxearthlink_ammoxx. Please check it out. Link will be in the description. Anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 will be coming soon. And yeah, just please like and subscribe. I put a lot of effort into these videos, and this one in particular has taken me quite a while because of the way I've been editing it and whatnot. Like and subscribe. You know, share the video around with people. Anyway, yeah. See you guys later. Peace. I have been recording for almost an hour. Dear God.